Let's go over how you can work out and intermittent fast at the same time for maximum results. Let's say you're doing a 16-8 intermittent fasting practice, where you're fasting for 16 hours, then taking in all your calories within an 8-hour eating window. And your goals are, you want to lower your body fat. So that's one of the reasons why you're fasting. So you're fasting to restrict calories and all the hormonal benefits of being in a fasted state, like low insulin levels. You're also fasting because you want to improve your health. You want to upregulate autophagy, like the cell cleansing. You want to increase your longevity. Now you're working out, you're doing resistance training to increase your muscle mass or to at least maintain your muscle mass. And you're also doing some cardiovascular training to make sure you have a strong heart and good cardiovascular system. But maybe you're not sure, like, should you work out in a fasted state? Should you take in some calories for your workout? So those are all the things we're going to cover in great detail in this video. And I have a few slides that are going to keep on popping up that's going to help us explain everything. But let's go over a week-long strategy I think you should follow. Let's say on Monday, you're doing your resistance training. And it could depend on what I think you should do based on the time of day that you're working out. Let's first say you're also doing 16-8, where you're fasting 16 hours, taking in all your calories within an 8-hour eating window. Okay, so let's say you always typically skip breakfast and you're working out first thing in the morning on a Monday, and Monday is actually your resistance training day. And your goal is to pretty much not break your fast. This is what I would recommend you do. I think you should take in like some essential amino acids as supplement. See, essential amino acids, I'm going to switch to another slide that'll explain what essential amino acids are. Essential amino acids are the building blocks of protein, and there are essential and non-essential amino acids. See, essential amino acids are those complete proteins, the ones that the body can't make on its own, so you really have to get them through diet. You know, essential amino acids are high in like animal type protein, in eggs, and all complete proteins. But if you want to take in like amino acids, take in protein, but minimize the spike in insulin and really not taking any calories, you can actually take a supplement, and I do it all the time. I take an essential amino acid supplement, which is going to help me with protein synthesis from a resistance training workout. It's also going to help me speed up muscle recovery from a workout without really taking in any calories. But there are a couple of downsides. Some of the downsides are that, say you're intermittent fasting like purely for longevity, purely for autophagy, it still might mess you up a little bit. Because it is going to if you see on the bottom of this slide, it is going to down-regulate autophagy cell cleansing, because you're kind of going into a growth phase. It's going to upregulate mTOR, the growth signaling. It's going to down-regulate autophagy. So if your main goal is longevity, you may just want to do your resistance training fasted. But I think this is a good substitute. I think you're getting the best of all worlds by taking like an essential amino acid supplement. But for example, if you're working out in the afternoon, right, and doing your resistance training on a Monday, you might want to do what I have down here as my Wednesday workout. Let's say you're working out in the afternoon and you don't mind breaking your fast right before your workout because you've already been fasting for 16 hours. Then you might want to take in like a whey protein shake, which will break your fast. I actually broke that down in another slide as well. See, my favorite type of whey protein is a whey protein isolate. What I mean by isolate is that they strip out all the fat. You're pretty much just getting the amino acids. And every 25 grams of a whey protein isolate is only about 100 calories. So what I typically do is that if I'm working out in the afternoon, which I typically do work out, like I typically do 16-8, where I fast in the morning, skip breakfast, have my last meal, I'm done by 8 in the evening. I own a gym, so I'm training clients all morning. I typically work out, say 1, 2 o'clock. So I'll have like a pre-workout shake with whey protein isolate, maybe a scoop or two. I also like to mix it with a little celery juice, which is only 35 calories. So I'm only getting 135 calories, maybe 25, 30 grams of protein. I'll drink that maybe half right before my workout, the other half like during my workout. It's ideal because it gives me energy for my workout. It's going to help me with protein synthesis. It's also going to speed recovery, and it's staying within my 16-8 fasting strategy. So it's ideal for me. It really works for me. So if you're, say, working at midday, I know it's hard for people to do because I own a gym. It's easy for me. This is something you really might want to do on your resistance training days. Do like a whey protein shake. But like I said before, if you're working out in the morning, on your resistance days, you may want to just take in some essential amino acids. Okay? And that's pretty much my strategy when it comes to resistance training. It just depends on the time of day when you're working out. But if you're working out, say, in the evening, just like lunch, same thing. You may want to work out right after dinner, and then you're totally covered because you have proteins, you have energy, calories within your system. But when it comes to your cardiovascular training, I'm going to switch to another slide. When it comes to your cardiovascular training, I would do all my cardio pretty much in a fasted state. Whether it's that high intensity type cardio or whether it's the long, easier cardio, you're going to burn more fat calories when you're in a fasted state. Even though the research is a little bit mixed, sometimes your respiratory exchange ratio kind of flips that if you do your cardio in a fasted state, you may burn a little bit more carbohydrates later in the day. But I've been doing it for years. All physique athletes, all bodybuilders do fasted cardio. I think it's a great thing to do. So I really would recommend doing all your cardio in a fasted state. But let's go over like a typical week program. Let's say you're doing 16-8 and you're actually working out first thing in the morning. So Monday morning, you're going to just do your essential amino acids with your resistance training, right? Tuesday, you're doing a long, easy, fasted cardio. So let's say you're taking an hour and a half walk outside. You're going to do that in a fasted state first thing in the morning. But Wednesday, let's say you're doing your hard resistance training Wednesday. Even though you're training in the morning, you still may want to take in a pre-workout shake. So Wednesday, you're actually going to break your fast, only taking 135 calories. You're going to spike insulin a little bit, but still, I think it's probably going to be a good thing because you're going to get a good hard resistance training workout. Thursday, you're going to do your high intensity cardio, maybe do just a hard 15-20 minute cardio workout. You're going to do it in a fasted state. Friday, you're going to do your resistance training. Since you're training in the morning, you're going to do your essential amino acids. And you know what a good brand is? I like Kion. Kion. I'm a big fan of Ben Greenfield. I love his podcast. He has a Ben Greenfield Fitness, great podcast. He has a supplement line. Those are the essential aminos I take called Kion. Definitely check him out. And I'll put a link below the video if you want. I'm not affiliated with him at all. I don't make any money from it, but I really like his supplement. And say Saturday, Sunday, you're doing long, easy cardio in a fasted state. I think this is a great program to follow. Now you can really just do this even if you're working out in the morning, even if you're working out in the afternoon, and even if you're working out in the evening. It's a great way to combine and get the best of both worlds of intermittent fasting and working out. Definitely give it a try. Now, if you want a more detailed workout program, let's say you want to increase your muscle mass and burn body fat at the same time. I did another video about that. Check it out. I think you'll find it really helpful.